Yo, what is up? It's your boy Pandups, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 most anticipated movies coming out this year in 2026. So sit back and let's talk about it. But before we even get into the list, I have to talk about my two honorable mentions. First things first, we're going to start off with Masters of the Universe, dropping in theaters June 25th. And coming second to that, we have They Will Kill You, coming to theaters March 27th. Now, don't get me wrong, these still are two good movies. But once you hear my list, I think you're going to understand why they didn't make the cut. So without further ado, let's get into the top 10. Starting off at my number 10, we have The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping, in theaters November 20th. Now, ever since the first Hunger Games, the concept behind these movies have always had me hooked. Getting two people from every district to represent them, dropping them in the middle of an arena as they fight to the death to see who will be the winner. Now, yes, I do realize that the movies do get deeper than that, but overall, the movies are always a good watch. So moving on to my number 9. Coming in at my number 9, we have Supergirl, directed by James Gunn, coming to theaters June 26th. Now that James Gunn has taken over the world of DC after we already seen him conquer Superman, we now get to see him take on Supergirl. Now, I know James Gunn's Superman got a lot of controversy behind it, but I'm not listening to none of them naysayers. It was a good movie in my opinion, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to do with Supergirl. Not to mention, I was also one of the ones watching Supergirl back on the day on the CW channel. Stop playing with me. Next, moving on to my number 8. Coming in at my number 8, we have Mortal Kombat 2, dropping in theaters May 8th. Now look, man, who don't like a good old fighting movie? And if you haven't already seen the first one, go watch it. Now, I know y'all gonna look at me crazy when I tell y'all this, but I've never played a Mortal Kombat game. But listen, I know, chill on me. Watching these movies gonna have you want to play the game. I thought about it, I did, but I got arthritis, it's not good for the hands. Overall, when it comes to movies like these, you already know they're gonna have a stacked cast. We're gonna see some familiar fighters from the game and action-packed fight sequences in places who knows where they're gonna take us this time. Definitely gonna catch me in the theater for that one. Moving on to my number 7. Coming in at my number 7, we have Michael, coming to theaters April 26th. We finally get a Michael Jackson biopic that is finally gonna do him some justice. No disrespect to the other ones. Angela Bassett, you did your thing. As an all-time fan of Michael Jackson, when I heard this movie was coming out, you already know this should have jumped to my number 1, but there's more movies to come. And I was so devastated to hear when that man passed away that we went through his whole discography of music thanks to VH1 and MTV, playing his music and his music videos on repeat. RIP to King of Pop, and let's move on to the next one. Coming in at my number 6, we have Project Hail Mary, dropping in theaters March 20th. Now, after seeing the trailer to this movie, it was definitely giving Interstellar. But this time, instead of Matthew McConaughey, we got my boy Ryan Gosling. And they gave him a little rock buddy. By the looks of it, this movie is finna be visually breathtaking. And the story about the sun dying and this one man has to find a solution for it is incredible. So for that, you definitely will catch me in the theaters for that one. Now, moving on to my top 5. Coming in at my number 5, we have the live action Street Fighter, coming to theaters October 16th. And man, oh man, when I tell you they have a all-star packed cast, I'm talking big names all the way from 50 Cent, Jason Momoa, to even WWE superstar legends Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. And like I said before, who doesn't love senseless violence? I love me a good old action movie. I want to see 10 out of 10 hand-to-hand combat and more. And to be quite frank with you, I don't really know a lot about Street Fighter, so I'm hoping that this movie takes me into the world of Street Fighter and really puts me on. So with that, we moving on to my number 4. Coming in at my number 4, we have Star Wars: The Mandalorian and Grogu, coming in theaters May 22nd, starring none other than the GOAT himself, Pedro Pascal, and alongside him, my boy Baby Grogu, directed by none other than John Favreau. And don't act like you don't know who that is. Yes, that is Happy from the MCU. My boy be cooking up on screen and off. I really loved the show when it was on Disney Plus. Now I'm excited to see what they do on the big screen. Moving on to my number 3. Coming in at my number 3, we have The Odyssey, directed by Christopher Nolan, coming to theaters July 17th, starring Tom Holland and Matt Damon. Yet again, another movie with an all-star packed cast, and you should know this if you ever watched the Christopher Nolan movie. Shouts out to Oppenheimer. Now, when it comes to Greek mythology, your boy is always down for it. To Hercules, to Percy Jackson, I'm always in. But to see that Christopher Nolan really wanted to dive into this world, I really want to see his take on it. So let's move on to my number 2. Now, for my number 2, we have Spider-Man: Brand New Day, coming to theaters July 31st, starring once again Tom Holland and John Bernthal. That's right, Spider-Man and Punisher both in one movie. And it's already rumored that this man Mark Ruffalo is coming back to reprise his role as the Hulk. So Spider-Man, the Punisher, and the Hulk all in one movie. What else can you ask for? And after seeing Spider-Man No Way Home, my expectations for this movie are set too high. So y'all will definitely catch me in the theater for that one as well. And last but not least, coming in at my number 1 spot, you already know and you should have known from the jump, we have Avengers: Doomsday, coming to theaters December 18th. And you will never guess who's coming back to direct the movie. That's right, we have the Russo brothers themselves. Not only that, we have Robert Downey Jr. coming back to play Victor Von Doom. On top of that, Chris Evans is coming back to reprise his role as Captain America in prime peak form. If you do not plan on going to see this movie, what are you doing? I'm talking Deadpool, Wolverine, X-Men, Avengers, old Avengers, new Avengers, everybody's going to be in this movie. And that's pretty much it. That's been my top 10 most anticipated movies coming out this year of 2026. Let me know your top 10 in the comment section down below. And if you want to see more content like this, just hit the subscribe button.